Chad Gable has become one of the most interesting characters in WWE, from training Sami Zayn for his big WrestleMania win against Gunther to kicking his ass in the months that followed. Chad Gable's character has taken a complete U-turn. After multiple failures, he's turned his attention to the Alpha Academy, a group he called his family, verbally and physically abusing them week in and week out. It didn't look like anyone could stop him until Otis took a stand and distanced the group from him. As the dust settled and Gable had hit rock bottom, he became the first victim of the Wyatt Sick6. In this video, we'll take a look at why Chad Gable has been chosen as the first victim of Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Sick6. So make sure you stick around until the end so you don't miss out on all the details behind this new storyline. Leading up to WrestleMania, Chad Gable took on the role of mentor, training Sami Zayn for his big Intercontinental title match against Gunther. Things seemed to be going smoothly, and Chad was just like Apollo Creed in Rocky III. And at WrestleMania, Sami Zayn pulled off a massive upset, beating Gunther for the title, something Gable had failed to do 3 times. This win sparked jealousy in Gable, who watched as Zayn celebrated with his wife at ringside, unaware of what was to come next. Shortly after Mania, Chad wanted Sami to return the favour and give him an Intercontinental Championship match, and he agreed. This took place in Sami's hometown of Montreal, but once again Chad was unable to deliver and failed to capture the Intercontinental title. Frustration and jealousy boiled over, leading Gable to snap and attack Zayn after their match. As Zayn was celebrating, Gable blindsided him with a German suplex. Gable initially raised Zayn's hand in victory, only to viciously attack him moments later. Gable then wrapped Zayn's leg in the turnbuckle and applied a brutal ankle lock, leaving the fans in attendance in shock as Raw went off the air. The following week, Gable's transformation into a heel continued. He voiced his frustration, saying he had wasted his time training losers like Zayn. He declared that the Alpha Academy's new focus would be on him winning the Intercontinental title, marking a complete shift from being a supportive mentor to focusing entirely on his own success. Gable's feud with Zayn intensified over the next few weeks. During a match between Zayn and Bronson Reed, Gable interfered, causing disqualification, not wanting anyone else in the title picture. The following week, Zayn retaliated by attacking Gable during his match with Reed. This back and forth culminated in a triple threat match at the King and Queen of the Ring event, where Zayn retained his title, and this was all due to shenanigans caused by Gable with the Alpha Academy at ringside. Despite his best efforts, Gable couldn't defeat Zayn, and his frustration only grew. At Clash at the Castle, Gable lost again, with Otis and Maxine Dupree refusing to intervene on his behalf. This marked the end of their feud and a significant setback for Gable. Another crucial element in this storyline and Chad Gable's downward spiral was him turning his back on the Alpha Academy. As their mentor, Gable publicly criticized Otis, Maxine and Akira Tozawa, blaming them for his failures and labeling them as losers, much like he did with Zayn. He wanted them to adopt a new style and move away from the Alpha Academy that we all knew and loved. During their matches, he would often interfere, telling them exactly what to do, but after being programmed by Gable for so long to do things a certain way, it was really difficult for them to change things up, especially when the crowd cheered on members of the Alpha Academy to do exactly what they enjoyed. Also, Chad wanted them to get involved in his matches so he could further his own career. This is something that we'd never seen from him before. He'd always been selfless and wanted others to improve, but now he was only focused on himself. And during the Sami Zayn feud, it was so evident. Otis didn't want to listen to his instructions, and they had a back and forth with frustrations building week in and week out. One specific incident that highlights this tension happened after Otis lost to Bronson Reed. He didn't listen to Gable, which ended up costing him the match. Gable gathered the Alpha Academy in the ring for a meeting. He verbally tore into each member, culminating in him ordering Otis to stand against the ropes for a belt whipping. Gable was about to whip the soul out of him when Maxine intervened, mind, stopping him at the last second. This led to a heated verbal exchange and further escalated when Sami came out to confront Gable, criticizing him for blaming his failures on others. Gable tried to whip Otis again, but was stopped by Zayn, leading to a brawl between Gable and Zayn, which ended with Gable hitting Zayn with a German suplex. Gable's behavior wasn't just verbal, it was escalating into physical attacks. His ruthless approach to achieving his own personal success caused massive tension within the Alpha Academy. Maxine became injured, Otis was a punching bag, and Tozawa was open and free game. Gable continued degrading all the members of the Alpha Academy, and his transformation into a self-centered heel was complete. This relentless behavior caused the team's unity to crumble. The emotional impact on the team members was massive. Gable's once supportive and motivating presence had become toxic, driving a wedge between him and his friends. The final straw came after a series of losses and harsh punishments, leading Otis, Dupree and Tozawa to finally walk out the door, effectively putting the Alpha Academy out of business. Gable's obsession with his own success had driven his family away, leaving him alone. This drastic change in Gable's character set the stage, especially the looming presence of the Wyatt Six. Chad's betrayal made him an ideal target for the Wyatt Six. This faction, led by Uncle Howdy, targets individuals who stray from their true path, aiming to cleanse the WWE of this corruption, using psychological tactics to break their targets mentally before any physical confrontation. This ensures actions leave a lasting impact on both the victims and the audience. Uncle Howdy has been clear about his mission. In a chilling promo, he declared, "They weren't chosen, just willing. They've become a family. We've become a family. Even now, there are false prophets berating and belittling their family for their own gain. It's disgusting. They must pay for their sins." This is a direct reference to the Alpha Academy and Chad Gable's actions towards them. This statement highlights the Wyatt Six's philosophy and their reason for targeting Gable. They viewed him as the perfect example of betrayal and moral corruption, someone who turned against his own family for personal gain. Uncle Howdy's message, often delivered through bizarre QR codes and cryptic segments, have consistently foreshadowed the fate awaiting those who deviate from their true selves. The Wyatts have a clear goal, and Gable's actions made him the perfect target for their brand of psychological and physical abuse, and the message they wanted to send to him was clear on their debut. They caused chaos backstage and specifically targeted Gable, leaving him unconscious and covered in blood, and the camera panned over to Uncle Howdy. This was signaling the start of his torture. This wasn't a random attack, it was meticulously planned and foreshadowed by cryptic QR codes and bizarre segments hinting at Gable's impending doom. Before their debut, they released clips with the initials CG, and then they mentioned, "You changed, you stopped saying thank you." This was direct reference to Chad Gable, and then he ends up in a pool of his own blood, and the highlight of the segment with all the victims laid out cold. It becomes more clear when we analyze Uncle Howdy's messages. These quotes not only provide insight into the Wyatt Six's motivations, but also add a layer of psychological terror to the story. This aligns perfectly with their mission to cleanse WWE and Gable's actions towards Alpha Academy and his friends to further his own personal success. His transformation was everything that the Wyatt Six wanted to cleanse from the WWE, and this is why he became their prime target. By targeting Gable, the Wyatt Six are not just punishing him, they're using his story as a message for the rest of the WWE roster, and this is why Jey Uso is on edge, because he left the bloodline to join Monday Night Raw. This would put him straight on their radar. Chad Gable's transformation from a mentor to a self-centered heel has not only affected his own career, but has also had a significant impact on those around him. Gable's actions against Sami Zayn and the Alpha Academy revealed his deep-seated frustrations and insecurities, making him a prime target for the Wyatt Six. This faction, with their bizarre presence and psychological tactics, have capitalized on Gable's moral failings, using him as an example to warn others in WWE. Uncle Howdy's cryptic messages and the brutal attack on Gable symbolizes a new chapter in WWE storytelling, one that delves into the consequences of betrayal and the relentless pursuit of personal success. As Gable makes his way through the aftermath of his actions and the torment inflicted by the Wyatt Six, we are left scratching our heads at where this is going. This story not only shows Gable's evolving character, but also adds depth to WWE's storytelling, keeping audiences engaged and making it unpredictable, and I can't wait to see how it's going to turn out. Thanks for watching this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on why Uncle Howdy has picked Chad Gable as their next target, so let me know in the comment section down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more wrestling content right here on WrestlingReel.